My beloved child, I have kept silent for too long, but today I can no longer do so. This is my final effort not to frighten you, but to warn you. A curse has been sown from the wounds you refuse to face. It is not some ancient sorcery. It is the chain of thoughts, fears, and dark memories you nurture day by day. Now it rises, flooding your mind like a moonless night, but do not be afraid. I have not come to accuse you, but to offer you one last chance. Step out of the shadows and return beneath my wings, where every storm is called by a single name, peace. Long ago, the prophet Elijah fled from Queen Jezebel. He was so afraid he wished to die. He hid in the wilderness, thinking the Lord had abandoned him. But when the strong wind had passed, the earthquake stilled and the fire burned out, there remained only a gentle whisper, and in it he recognized my voice. Do you see, darkness does not conquer by shouting. It wins by making you forget to listen for my tenderness. There are souls who think they are running from a nightmare, yet in truth, they are tucking fear in beside them beneath the covers. There are long nights you sit alone thinking you are praying, when in fact you are conversing with panic. Do not feed fear any longer, child. It needs no blood or flesh. It only requires lodging in your heart. Every drop of doubt, every self-pitying word, every sigh you breathe is a slice of bread I see you offering to the dark. Fear is the spiritual narcotic of this world. It does not kill at once, but it dulls your capacity to recognize truth. You cease to hear the Lord's call and hear only the echo of yourself, weak, evasive, uneasy. Yet the Lord has never been far from you. He stands there still in silence, waiting for you to stop feeding your fear and begin relearning how to trust. Darkness is not only the night, it is the way you choose to look at the day. When your heart sinks into fear, everything around you takes on a gray tint. Loved ones become suspects. The future becomes a threat. Prayer becomes a stray cry. But do not forget, even in the blackest night, light still exists. It is only that your eyes have grown used to the dark. Let me teach you to open them again. The truth is, you are not bound by demons. You have tied yourself with cords of fear. You say you want freedom, yet you cling to anxiety as to a dear friend. You say you believe, yet you worry that God will be silent. I say this not to blame you, but to awaken you. Faith and fear cannot live in the same room. When one remains, the other must go. Which will you choose? Not every wind is a storm, but leave the door of your soul unguarded, and even a breeze can topple the house. Your world is not limited to what the eye can see. There is an unseen battlefield that rages each day, where your thoughts, emotions, and faith are tested. Darkness does not arrive with thunder. It comes with a sigh, with the thought, God no longer cares for me. It is subtle, quiet, slipping through the cracks in your mind where you stop praying, stop reading the Word, stop believing in what is good. But child, that darkness has limits. It cannot cross the boundary God has set. It can only stir those who have wandered from His embrace. As the sea can flood only when the dike is broken, so darkness enters only when your heart no longer shelters in grace. Do not fear its power. Fear forgetting the one whose authority surpasses the dark. To be watchful does not mean to be frantic. To face fear is not to magnify it, but to see how small it is beneath the cross. You do not need to dodge the dark. You need only remember that light never argues with night, it simply appears. Child, I know within you are long nights when your soul seems to fall through empty space. No sound, but the quickened breathing of fear. No words, but the whisper, what if no one remains beside me? In moments that seem ordinary, darkness begins to breathe inside you. It is not loud, not violent. It merely asks softly, is God truly still there? And you hesitate, unable to answer. Just a brief silence, yet it is the first crack where light leaks out and fear pours in like water. I remember King Solomon, the one granted wisdom above all others. Yet he who best understood the right lost the boundary within his heart. He let himself incline toward the gentle murmurs of the dark, the weightless invitations of strange gods. No battle broke out, no blood was shed, only the quiet vanishing of faith day by day. That is how the darkness truly wins, not by storms, but by the slow cooling of the heart. Do you see? The enemy of your soul needs no rods or chains. It needs only that you forget to pray one day, skip a Thanksgiving once, and stop believing I still govern all things. Darkness cannot seize your faith, but it knows how to make you set it down yourself. Thus fear grows nourished by your very breath. Each time you say, I am too weak, the dark smiles. Each time you murmur, I don't know if God hears me, it advances a step. And then, without striking a blow, it has taken your heart. But remember this well, my dear, darkness is strong only when you believe it is. Since the dawn of creation I have set its boundaries. As the sea may roar, yet must halt where I decree, enough so the darkness cannot pass the limit I allow. It may threaten and make you tremble, but it cannot touch the soul that shelters in me. Take just a single step toward the light, only one, and a myriad schemes of the wicked will dissolve like mist in the morning Sunday. I do not ask you to be so brave that you never fear. I ask you to fear in the right way, to fear straying from me, to fear losing your connection to the Word, to fear letting silence fill the space between us. For when your heart drifts from me, that is when the real night begins. Fear is not a sin, but if you feed it and defend it sooner or later, it makes itself master. Be watchful, child, but do not panic. Sometimes if you merely stop, look up, and breathe a simple prayer, the darkness realizes it has no place to dwell. I want you to understand the true battle is not outside. It unfolds in your thoughts, in the small choices of each day. When you choose silence instead of prayer, when you choose worry instead of trust, the battlefield tilts toward the dark. But do not forget, any battle can turn if you will open your heart. Light does not need to be kindled. It only needs you to stop covering it. Now ask yourself, am I living in the light or merely pretending I am used to the dark? For there are those who no longer recognize their fear. They call it by other names: prudence, preparation, foresight. Yet beneath those disguises beats a heart that has lost its peace. And where peace is absent, the evil one need not invade. He has already been invited. Child, I have not come to rebuke you, but to untie one by one the knots of fear within you. Stop imagining that you fight alone. In truth, this battle was won long ago. You have only to step onto the side of the victory. Come out of that shadowed place, leave the cramped room where fear reigns. Outside, the dawn is still waiting, and my arms are outstretched, as at the beginning. And when you recognize your true battlefield, you will understand armor is not forged of steel, but of faith tempered with every breath, every small deed, every faithful choice. You need only relearn how to put on peace each morning. That will be the armor no arrow can pierce. I see many who bear the name believer, yet wear belief like a charm. They hang a cross in the house, but their hearts are restless. They recite prayers each morning, but their lips never touch their hearts. They beg me to remove their fear while clinging to habits that nourish the dark. Child, faith is not a ritual. It is the discipline of the soul trained each day through quiet choices and unseen perseverance. I think of Daniel cast into the lion's den. He wore no armor, wielded no sword, and had no allies. What kept the beasts from touching him was not spectacle, but the spiritual pattern he had kept all his life. 3 times a day he prayed, not from mere routine, but from the discipline of faith. You see, true peace does not arrive when the storm ends, but when you learn to stand still within it, trusting that I am there. Faith does not grow in the hours of ceremony, but in the moments of testing, when you choose silence instead of retort, trust instead of doubt, patience instead of haste. I do not demand perfection. I ask for faithfulness, for in my kingdom, steadiness in faith is stronger than every passing feeling. You may weep, you may fall, you may tremble, but do not abandon the habit of putting on your spiritual armor each day. My word is truth, prayer is breath, obedience is the way, and faith is the shield that stops every arrow of fear. Do not let your faith remain a lovely theory. Make it a living act. When you read the word, do not read to be done. Let each line shine into the darkest place within you. When you pray, do not simply recite your fears to me. Let me tell you how I love you. When you obey, do not think you lose your freedom. Know that you are walking the true road toward it. And when you believe, do not believe with the mind alone. Believe with the very wounds that once broke you. For those wounds wrapped in faith become the marks of victory. Child, be wary of performative piety, the habit that makes a person imagine they belong to the light while their heart remains in night. Ritual without discipline is an empty shell. Prayer without trust is a breath lost to the air. Fear is not afraid of rituals. It fears only the one who truly believes. For the true believer does not need to shout. They need only to stand, and the darkness must retreat. When your mind is sealed by the discipline of faith, the door for fear and falsehood closes of its own accord. Do not wait for the storm to seek your armor. Practice wearing it each day in quiet weather, so that when the winds rise, you will not be searching in haste. Let me train your soul in the silence, temper it in the fire of trial, and cover it with the breath of peace. For only those practiced in holding their faith firm in the smallest details can stand unshaken in the day of fierce winds. I say this not to impose, but to remind you that faith is not a feeling, it is a practice. You cannot fight the darkness by merely reading the Word. You must live in the Word. The darkness knows who belongs to me, not by the verses you recite, but by the life you embody. Let every action, every thought, every response become a liturgy in the midst of ordinary days. Then you will not need miracles, for your steadfast way of life itself will become the proof that I live and that the darkness has already lost. And when you have grown familiar with wearing that armor, you will see that fear does not vanish. It simply stands farther away. You still hear its voice, but you no longer tremble. You still notice its shape, but you are no longer shaken. For within you now there is something as steady as stone, as radiant as fire. This is me living at the very center of your heart. And from within that armor you will gradually recognize that the true root of every fear is not outside you, but in the places within you that you have not yet given entirely to me. Then you will learn the next lesson, not to defeat fear, but to sever its root with trusting surrender. I know how your heart has quivered before things that have not yet come to pass. You fear loss, you fear failure, you fear being forgotten, but beneath all these fears is a sorrow deeper still. You fear that I will not intervene in time. It is precisely when you doubt my timing that the darkness claims the right to take root. It whispers that you must stay in control, that if you do not manage everything, all will collapse. And so bit by bit you turn worry into a private ritual repeated again and again until it hardens into habit. But child, anxiety saves no one. It only leads you off the path I have drawn. When you are busy maneuvering, you cease to listen. When you cling tightly, you no longer let me lead. Fear is a seed that sprouts only where the soil of the heart has not been tilled by faith, and I have seen it each time you pray. Your lips say, I entrust it to you, yet your hands still clutch every burden. That is not faith, it is negotiation. I want to tell you an ancient story of Pharaoh on the day the Hebrews crossed the Red Sea. My people stood before deep waters with the enemy at their backs, and fear flooded their hearts. They said to Moses, better to be slaves than to die here. Do you see? Fear always chooses the certainty of slavery over the risk of freedom. But I opened a road through the sea, and only those who dared to step between the walls of water saw the miracle. Fear kept them frozen. Faith moved them through. It is precisely when you walk into what you do not yet understand that I begin to do what you cannot. Fear is an old memory dressed in the present. It feeds on wounds you have not yet handed over to me. Each time you replay a failure, each time you mutter, "It will be the same again," you water that root of fear. But child memory is not a prison if you know how to use it. Look back at the times I delivered you when you thought yourself lost and an unexpected door opened. When you believed you had lost everything and yet found your very self in solitude. These are memories of grace, and they are the keen blade that cuts the coils of panic wrapped around you. I do not promise you a life without storms. I promise to be in the storm with you. Fear tells you to avoid. Faith whispers, "Keep going." You will never know how faithful my heart is if you remain where it feels safe. Faith is not the comfort of calm emotion. It is the decision to step forward while your heart still shakes. You truly believe only when you dare to let go of the helm and allow me to carry you through the rough waters. Do not seek guarantees from the world, child. No protective gear will shelter you from the winds like hiding yourself in me. When you give everything to me, your joys and your worries, your plans and your mistakes, fear loses its shelter. Where there is trust, there is no soil for doubt. I do not need you to be strong. I need you to truly believe. And when you believe, the darkness need not be driven out. It dissolves because light has been kindled within you. My dear one, do not continue feeding fear with hopeless prayers. Do not nourish it with worry or lull it with routine. Let me pull it out by the root. With one decisive act, give me your whole heart. Trust is not sitting still. It is living in the active posture of peace. When you learn to be quiet in my hands, even as the world quakes, fear will know it has been defeated. And when that root is cut, you will see wonders unfold. Your heart grows light, your mind grows clear, and your eyes begin to see differently. You will recognize that many things you once deemed threats are in truth opportunities to love, to forgive, to be healed. For forgiveness is the next movement of freedom, the sharp sword that severs the last power of darkness, resentment. I know there are days you try to appear calm while inside you a silent undertow pulls hard. You still go to church, still recite your prayers, still say, "I believe," yet deep within fear remains like a shadow behind you, moving with your every heartbeat. You do not speak of it, but I hear the trembling of your soul. And I want you to know this fear does not vanish when you try to be strong. It melts only when you allow yourself to be weak in my embrace. Fear grows in the soil of control. The more you try to grasp, the tighter it binds. The more you demand to understand, the more it confuses you. Anxiety is like a wheel spinning while your soul sits at its hub. The harder you push, the faster it whirls. You think you are acting, but you are only being pulled into the machinery of unrest. Trust, by contrast, is to stop. It is to sit at the center of the swirl and say, "I do not understand, but I still believe." I do not need you to know everything. I need you to choose belief in the half-light. Do you remember when Peter stepped out of the boat to walk upon the water? He did not sink because the waves were strong. He sank because his eyes left me. The wind has never been stronger than I am, but the fear within him was. And the moment panic took hold, the water immediately swallowed his trembling feet. You see, the sea does not swallow the one who believes. It swallows the one who stares at his own fear. So whenever worry begins to rise, ask your heart, are my eyes on you or on the wind? Trust is not the abandonment of reason, but reason guided by love. When you believe that I am at work even in silence, you learn how to rest in the midst of the storm. There are prayers you think I have not heard, but in truth I am quietly arranging the scattered pieces of your life. There are losses you mistake for punishment, yet they are only the way I take back what you could not release. You ask for peace, and sometimes I answer by leading you to places where only faith can keep that peace alive. Do not imagine that faith means being without fear. Faith is choosing to stand while fear still lingers. If your faith exists only when the storm is calm, that is not faith, it is fair weather. When you tremble yet keep walking, when you hurt, yet keep praying, when you lose, yet still say, Lord, I believe you, then you have won. You have not let fear steer you, you have let me lead. I want you to learn this fear never dies by argument, it dies in surrender. When you truly cry, I cannot, but you can, the root of anxiety begins to wither. Not because you are strong enough, but because I have begun to act. Let me fight for you. Let me provide for you. Your part is to believe not merely with words, but with the quiet of trusting silence. And then when you learn to let go, you will see that fear does not need to be driven out. It leaves on its own, for it cannot live in the climate of faith. When your heart is filled with trust, fear suffocates and fades. You do not need to shout, I am not afraid. You need only whisper, I surrender. That is the most powerful prayer, for it requires no argument, only belief. Child, let faith become the habit of your breathing. When you open your eyes each morning, say, I entrust this day to you. When night falls, say, I return all things to you. In this way, each day you set a brick of peace in place, and little by little fear finds nowhere to dwell. Peace will come not as a passing breeze, but as a sturdy house built from breaths of trust. And when that house stands, you will begin to understand some wounds do not need compensation but forgiveness. Some fears do not need escape but transfiguration by love. Only when you learn to forgive others, yourself, and even the mysteries you cannot fathom, will the last chain of fear be cut. And there you will walk on, no longer anxious, with a heart set free, free to love. Child, I see the nights you bow your head in prayer, not to ask for more grace, but simply to forget a certain face. You say, I have forgiven, but each time memory stings, your heart still trembles. Forgiveness on the lips is easy. Releasing the heart's grip is the true battle. There are wounds that draw no blood, only a slow seep of remembrance, and it is these, not the offender, that exhaust you. You do not realize that resentment is the shadow that remains when the one who hurt you is long gone. I remember Joseph, the son sold by his brothers, exiled, slandered, forgotten. After years of prison, many assumed bitterness would define him, but when the chance for revenge arrived, he wept. He did not retaliate. He said, You meant evil against me, but God intended it for good. Do you see, forgiveness does not weaken justice? It transfers judgment from your hands to mine. My justice does not wound further. It heals both sides. When you refuse to forgive, you lock yourself in an old room where every memory replays and every feeling turns to stone. Each time you retell the story, you light a lamp for the darkness to live again. And then you claim to believe, but in truth you place more faith in the wound than in me. Child, forgiveness is not denying the pain. It is placing the pain into the hands of the one who can make it a testimony. If you keep it, it is a burden. If you give it, it becomes a seed of blessing. I know forgiveness is not easy. It is a kind of bleeding no one can see. But look to the cross where I was betrayed, mocked, and nailed up amid laughter, and still I said, Father, forgive them, not because they deserved it, but because you need to be free. Freedom does not come from others changing. It comes from you no longer being bound by the past. When you forgive, you are not excusing evil. You are simply refusing to let evil keep its hands on the rope that binds your heart. Forgiveness is the bravest act of a soul that has come of age. It is not weakness, and it is not compromise. It is the sword of the believer, sharp enough to sever even the invisible cords of injury. Wherever forgiveness takes root, darkness cannot set its stakes. The unforgiving are like those who drink poison while waiting for another to die, but the ones who release are those who let me remake their life. Forgiveness does not change the past, but it redefines the future. Let me tell you this, no one steps out of shadow by nursing a grudge. You cannot ask for peace while still keeping someone locked in your prison. Every time you cling to resentment, You are bolting your own heart's door, and peace, even when it knocks, cannot enter. Practice opening the door. Begin with a small prayer. Lord, I cannot forgive yet, but please help me to want to forgive. That alone is enough for the light to begin to break in. And when you learn to forgive, you will see your wound no longer throbs as before. It remains only as a mark reminding you that grace is real. Forgiveness turns you from a victim into a witness. You will not retell the story to complain, but to give thanks. In the very place you were once hurt, my light now shines most clearly. For love, child, is not a soft feeling. It is a fire that burns away every scheme of the dark. When you have let everything go, when the cords of hatred and fear are cut, your heart will be as light as a fresh wind. And then you will understand living in the light is not fleeing the darkness, but passing through it without letting it cloud your sight. Your peace will no longer be something to search for. You yourself will become its source. And that, dear one, is the first step into the final stage, living in the light, bearing witness to peace in the midst of the storm. Some think peace is a prize given after the tempest has passed. But I tell you truly, peace does not arrive after the storm, it is born within it. My child, the light does not wait for night to end in order to shine. It shines so that night must end. When you learn to stand firm in the clamor, when your heart is at rest, though the waves rise, then you become my true witness, not by words but by the steady silence of your soul. I once taught this to my disciples, but they understood only when their boat was about to sink. Fierce winds, rose waves towered over their heads, and they cried out, "Master, we are perishing." I simply stood, looked at them, and said, "Why are you afraid? Where is your faith?" Then I rebuked the wind, and the sea grew calm. Do you see, the storm did not trouble me. It is the human heart that stirs the fiercest gale. The ocean does not need me to speak each day. It needs only your trust that I am in the boat, and the waves will know where to stop. True peace is not noisy. It does not flaunt itself. It needs no explanation. It is present like breath, like dawn's quiet light that asks no applause. Those who live in the light need not prove their holiness. They need only be present, and darkness knows it must keep its distance. Their peace does not depend on events because they no longer seek from the world what only I can give. They do not merely have peace, they become peace. Learn to live like this, my beloved, not by dodging the waves, but by walking in them without letting the waters flood your heart. When others panic, you choose stillness. When they speak with bitterness, you answer with kindness. When they strike back, you smile. Not because you are weak, but because you understand the truly strong are those who keep a gentle heart in a chaotic world. This is the only strategy that can undo the night, not by the sword, but by truth and mercy. Living in the light is not pretending you do not see the dark. It is passing through it without becoming its accomplice. You cannot change the world by condemning it, but you can make it different by living differently. Do not merely say God is love. Let people see that love in your calm, your patience, and your stubborn faith in goodness amid the ruins. Every good deed is a candle. Every kind word is a beam of light. And you will be amazed to find that with a single candle, the rule of darkness in a room is already broken. Remember, you are not called merely to survive the storm. You are called to shine within it. Your peace is a mission, not an escape. This world does not need more commentators on the night. It needs people who walk through it while keeping their flame bright. Be such a person. Do not lecture about the light. Become it. Do not wait to be perfect before you begin. Even the sun rises among clouds. And then as you walk this way, you will understand every tear that fell, every fear that closed in, every wound that cut deep. Each one was teaching you that peace is not a gift to receive, but an identity to live. You will see that because of those storms, the light within you burns clearer, and because of those long nights, you cherish the dawn. My child, this journey does not end with you escaping fear, but with you turning fear into testimony. People will look at you, the one who once trembled and was frail, and see me, the one who was there, who healed, who raised you up by grace. And then you will no longer say, God is with me, as a declaration. You will live it as naturally as breath. For true light is not outside you, dear heart, it is within you. When you walk through darkness with a peaceful heart, the world will recognize that this light does not come from the sun, but from the one who lives in you. And that is the moment you become a witness of peace in the storm. Beloved, there are days when the sky seems shut, every dream dissolves into mist, and your heart feels so weak you have barely breath to pray. But remember, in that very moment I am nearer to you than ever. I do not depart. I do not keep silent to leave you lost. I am quietly laying my hand upon your shoulder, imparting a strength that does not come from flesh but from the Spirit, a light nothing can extinguish. You are not made to live in fear, but to carry victory into places of ruin, to bring hope to the hopeless, to stand firm in the tempest and declare, I belong to the light, and the darkness cannot swallow me. You may be weak, but in me you are stronger than every hostile force. You may stumble, but in my hand you are never abandoned. When your tears fall, I do not watch coldly every drop. I remember every sigh touches my heart. I turn that pain into a gem, your wound into the place where light slips in, so that when you look back you will see that from your collapses I taught you how to rise and fly. Do not let the petty voices within tell you that you are not good enough, not worthy, without a future. Those lies are the enemy's trick to blind you to the truth that you are my treasure. You are chosen, loved, set apart for a purpose no one else can replace. I did not err in making you. Every breath of yours has been held in my great design since before the world began. You are not here by accident. You are destined to be a lamp in the dark, a song in the night, a healing hand for broken hearts. The world may miss your worth, but I see it. I see every hidden effort, every small desire, every sacrifice no one applauds. And I promise nothing you do for love, for truth, for faith will be wasted. Clothe yourself in your spiritual armor, not for display, but to remind yourself that you belong to the victorious one. Truth will be the belt that holds you when temptation pulls. Righteousness will be the breastplate that guards your heart from the arrows of sin and bitterness. Faith will be the shield that makes every lie fall back. Salvation will be the helmet that keeps your mind from despair. And my word, the living word, will be the sword that alone can cleave the darkness. Do not think this is a temporary fight. It is a lifelong pilgrimage in which each day you must rise, be equipped, and walk with me. You do not battle alone, for I go before you. I am your rear guard, the flame that guides you through the night. When you are weary, I will lift you. When you are afraid, I will hold your hand. When you do not know what to say, I will place words on your lips, so your voice still carries in the silence. Do not seek peace in the world, for it cannot give what only I can bestow. True peace is not the absence of storms, but my presence within them. When you let your heart take refuge in me, the winds may roar, but within you the waters lie still. There are battles you will not understand, and losses that seem beyond repair. Yet, child, in what you do not understand, your faith is refined like gold in fire. Without fire, gold is not pure. Without trials, you cannot see the strength I have placed within you. Let every sorrow become a witness to future victory, so that when you stand upon the summit of dawn, you can say, I did not give up, because I knew who fought with me. Remember, I did not promise an easy road, but I promised you would never be alone. I did not say you would never weep, but I pledged to wipe your tears with my own hand. I did not promise the world would applaud you, but I inscribed your name upon my heart, where nothing can erase it. Each time you fall, do not linger long in blame. Stand up and look up, for I am waiting for you, not with accusatory eyes, but with the smile of mercy. I love you not because you are perfect, but because you are mine. That love does not change, does not condition, does not end. Wherever you go, whatever you do, however many times you fail, my love will find you, hold you, and call your name with the tenderness of eternity. When the enemy knocks at the door of your mind with the voice of doubt, you are not enough. You have failed too often. You have no hope. Answer with my words. I am chosen. I am forgiven. I am loved, and nothing can separate me from his love. Each time you say this, heaven trembles, for your faith becomes an unquenchable flame. Speak my word daily, not only with your lips, but with your life. Let your heart be saturated with my spirit, so that every deed, every thought, every breath echoes the melody of new life. When you let my spirit reign, no power can bring you down, for the fire within you is greater than the darkness without. And when you feel alone, remember, you are surrounded by countless angels sent to guard you, to lift you up, to contend for you in the unseen realm. Whenever you pray, heaven trembles. Whenever you believe, the darkness quakes. Hold fast in faithfulness, for not a single prayer of yours is ever lost. They are weaving the tapestry of destiny, each thread spun of faith, hope, and love. You may not yet see the full form of that picture, but trust that I am painting it with my own hand. No stroke is meaningless, no color is wasted. All that you endure in brightness or in shadow belongs to a perfect design that only from the summit of glory will you perceive, and then you will know that every fracture, every tear, every long night has led you to this place. My child, walk by faith, for faith is not a feeling but a decision to trust, though your eyes have not yet seen. Remember, you need not behold the whole road. You need only take the first step in the light I give. Each step you take in obedience will open a new path. Each act of trust will swing wide the doors of wonder. Do not wait until you feel ready, for no one is ever fully ready to do great things. It is precisely when you tremble and still move forward that I can work mightily through you. I do not need your perfection. I ask only for your willingness. Therefore, beloved, rise up. Do not let yesterday shackle your feet. Do not let failure smother the dawn. Lay down your burdens and run to me, for the way ahead is blazing with light. I have prepared everything: grace for the journey, strength for the trial, and joy for the victory. Do not look at the storm. Look at me. Do not count your wounds. Count the times I have healed you. Do not fear the future, for I have gone before you into every day. And when you feel small before a vast world, remember that a single ray is enough to tear the veil of night. You are that ray, born to shine, to radiate, to turn desolate places into fields of hope. I call you a warrior, not because you never fear, but because you dare to stand when you are afraid. I call you chosen, not because you lack nothing, but because you have given me what is most precious, your heart. From that very heart I will bring forth works that will make the world marvel. Do not doubt your worth, for in my eyes you are more precious than the stars. Do not shrink from the road ahead, for I am holding your hand each step of the way. When you are lost, I am your compass. When you are weak, I am your strength. When you despair, I am the hope that does not fade. And when you fall, I am the arm that lifts you up. Engrave this upon your heart: no weapon forged against you will prevail. Every blade of deceit, every plot of darkness, every whisper of fear will dissolve before the light of truth. For you are not merely protected, you carry triumph within you. Your peace cannot be stolen, for it is not of this world. Your light cannot be put out, for it is kindled from the eternal light himself. Go then, bear my love into the world, and wherever your feet tread, a mark of heaven will be sown. I have set a fire within you, a flame that will not die. Though winds may howl and rains may lash, it will burn, it will shine, it will warm. For it is my fire, the fire of love, of truth, of calling. Guard it, tend it, and when the world grows cold, let the flame in you comfort the trembling souls who seek a way home. Remember, child, I have not only called you to live, but to illumine, not only to survive, but to transform, not only to be saved, but to become an instrument of my love upon the earth. And until the day you stand before me, I will be with you, the keeper, the guide, the defender, and the one who loves you, with a love that never changes. In time you will understand that in every moment that seemed most desolate, my unseen hand rested on your shoulder, quietly guarding and covering you. There are times you think you walk in a darkness with no exit, times you feel no one on earth could ever understand your heart, yet in those very moments, my gaze is fixed on you most tenderly. I see every tear you shed, I hear even the words you have not yet spoken. I know the fears that crowd your mind, the times you wanted to let go and cease striving. And even then, my strength is seeping into your heart, rekindling the small flame you thought had gone out. Do not seek refuge in human arms, for no shoulder is strong enough to bear the tempests of this world. Do not lean on wealth or fame, for they are but mist that vanishes. Return to the true wellspring of peace, the place where I await you, the place no space or time can sever, the place where you are loved completely, though you are not yet complete. Do not perceive that every trial before you is a stone in the road I have laid. I do not give suffering to torment you, but to teach you steadfastness and a deeper trust. As the grain must break open in the dark earth to sprout, as gold must endure the fire to shine, so too must you pass through these flames, that your soul may be refined. Every hidden tear is a drop of rain that washes away the dust and makes you cherish the worth of light, of love, and of life itself. Do not fear. When others plot against you, do not tremble at bitter words, for nothing can touch your soul unless I permit it. Remember, my power rises above every scheme under the Sunday. When you place your trust wholly in me, I turn what is harmful into good. I turn night into morning. Those who sow the wind will reap the whirlwind, and every cruel word will return to the lips that uttered it. But you keep your heart in peace, for that very peace is the strongest weapon against evil. Do not repay hurt with hurt, nor evil. For evil for you need not prove your justice. Justice lives in me. I will set all things right, though you do not yet see or understand. There are miracles that do not thunder with storm and flame, but bloom in the stillness of a trusting heart. When you place yourself in my hands, you will watch closed doors swing open and the hardest hearts grow gentle. You will discern that nothing happens by chance. Every breath, every step, every trial is woven into my perfect design. The world may wound you, but it cannot touch your soul when you abide in me. Stand firm in the gale, for at the last only my love endures. When you believe, you do not merely survive, you live abundantly, for you are nourished by a holy life no power can steal. Beloved child, open your heart to the dawn I am sending. Darkness can remain only as long as you allow it to reign. Once the light of faith breaks forth, the night will vanish like morning mist. Do not let resentment fill your heart, for hatred binds you in the chains of the wicked. Forgiveness is not weakness. It is the strength that descends from heaven. When you forgive, you do not deny the pain. You place it in my hands, that I may turn it into grace. You will see wondrously that where wounds once bled, flowers of peace and hope will bloom. Let the past go, for you cannot move forward while forever looking back. What I remove from your grasp is not punishment. It is my way of making room for better gifts to come. Do not measure yourself against what others receive, for you do not know the road they have walked. Look within where I am, working moment by moment. You may not see the outcome at once, but I am never late. Every sincere prayer is engraved before me, and in due season you will understand why I asked you to wait. Waiting is not despair. It is faith being forged in the fire. I know you are weary. I know at times you collapse on the way, but the moment you lift your head, you will find me, their smiling arms outstretched to hold you. You need not be perfect to be loved. You need only be sincere. Each time you fall, do not fear, for I will raise you up. Each time you err, do not hide, for I will never abandon you. My love is without condition and without change. My child, live with a grateful heart. When you give thanks, you open the door to blessing. Gratitude turns fear into peace and despair into hope. When you can say thank you even in sorrow, you proclaim that your faith is greater than your circumstance. Let thanksgiving become the breath of each day, for where gratitude abides, miracles follow. And as you share love and comfort others, you allow my light to shine through you. I want the world to see me in your eyes, in the way you live, in the smallest work of your hands. Do not fear that you are too small, for in smallness I accomplish the great. A single beam of light scatters the whole night, and you are that beam in this world. Walk steadily, though you see only one small step ahead, for my light will guide you one step at a time. You need not see far. Keep faith, and you will not lose your way. Remember, I did not promise you would never face storms, but I promised you would never sink. The waves may toss you, but they cannot swallow you when you cling to me. Each time you pass through the tempest, you will find yourself changed, stronger, deeper, and closer to me than ever before. Believe, for when you believe, I act. When you are patient, I reveal my power. When you love, I dwell within you. And when you let me lead, you will watch the whole world turn toward blessing. For you are a child of the light, chosen among many to reflect the eternal love. Live worthy of that calling, so that with every step you take, heaven and earth fall silent to bless you, and every power of darkness draws back trembling before the strength of the faith you carry in your heart. My beloved child, in the ceaseless current of life, there are moments when storms rise without warning, and the world's calls ring sweet as honey, yet quietly draw your soul away from the light. In such times, remember my word. Do not let your heart become a dwelling place for deceit. Your soul is a garden where I have sown the seeds of truth. If you allow the poisoned thorns of doubt and resentment to grow, the flowers of peace will wither. Stay awake, for those who come to you do not always carry good intent. Some arrive in the guise of weakness to stir your pity, others with gentle comforts only to plant confusion. Yet do not be afraid, for I have set within you the lamp of discernment. Its light will reveal what hides beneath the shell of falsehood. If you learn to listen for my voice, then even amid 1,000 clamors, you will recognize the resonance of truth. The wisdom I give is not for display, but that you may stand firm among brambles, see what naked eyes cannot see, and understand what human reason cannot grasp. Do not let fear lead you, my child. There are days when darkness seems to swallow every ray of hope, nights when you feel so small you want to let go. But precisely in that moment I am there, not far, not silent, but waiting for your outstretched hand. You are not alone, for once you root yourself in me, no wind has strength enough to tear you out. True strength does not come from what you possess, but from the faith you guard. Be steadfast like a pine in the storm, so that no matter how merciless the tempest, you still stand, still reach upward, still sing the hymn of light, and my child, learn to forgive. I know your heart has been wounded, the invisible cuts only you can feel. You may wish to clutch resentment to feel that justice is served, but understand, this hatred is the chain that binds your soul. It weighs down your steps and clouds your gaze. Forgiveness is not admitting they were right. It is releasing yourself. When you let go of bitterness, you hand me the right to heal. Only when you open the fist that clings can I place true peace within it. You are worthy of freedom, worthy to live in joy without carrying the yoke of what has passed. Forgiveness is not weakness. It is the soul's brightest victory, a flame kindled in the night, a power that makes the enemy tremble, for they no longer hold sway over you. I see every tear that falls, every whisper you breathe when loneliness closes in, and I am never indifferent to that pain. But my child, believe that every trial has its purpose. Each wound, if you allow my touch, becomes a gateway through which light enters. I have wondrous plans for you, not to break you, but to build you up, to strengthen your soul, to teach you the worth of perseverance, of faith, of love. Do not let your eyes fix only on the tangles and losses of the present, for I have already prepared a radiant path ahead. The future is not a blur of dim days, but a song of hope, and I myself compose its melody. When you keep your heart in peace, you will recognize that no storm is forever. Every pain will recede like waves dissolving into the sea. Only love remains, and that love, my love for you, never changes. I love you not because you are flawless, but because I see within you the seed of goodness. I saw you before you knew yourself, and I called your name in the light. Therefore do not fear rebukes or betrayals, for your worth is not measured by how others see you, but by how I behold you. My child, when you pray, do not imagine your words vanish into the void. Every prayer is a cord that links you to the heights of heaven. When you call my name, heaven listens. When you whisper in solitude, I am beside you, wiping your tears with the hand of love. Your words, when joined to mine, become the breath of life, stirring the heavens and shifting what seemed unmovable. Do not hesitate to speak your heart, for I do not judge, I love. And when you wield prayer as a sword, it cleaves the chains of darkness and opens the way for light to descend. The enemy will try every path to make you fall, breathing doubts into your ear and sowing seeds of fear in your heart. But remember, you are encircled by my love, love that is a fortress. No force can breach a refuge, safe amid 1,000 tempests. When you obey my word, you do not merely walk in light, you carry victory with you. Not because you are stronger than others, but because I am at your side. Never forget, your faith is your shield, your prayer is your sword, and my love is the impregnable stronghold. Your life is not measured by what you lose, but by how you rise after each fall. When you choose to forgive, to love, to trust, you are remaking your soul in the light. I want you to understand that peace does not come from avoiding sorrow, but from standing firm within it while keeping your heart unchanged. That is true freedom. Freedom from fear, from hatred, from darkness. Look around and see that this world remains beautiful even as fierce things unfold. Its beauty lies not in perfection, but in the power to rise again in the strength of kindness. Become a ray of light, small perhaps, yet warm enough to bathe the space you inhabit. When you speak a gracious word, extend a helping hand, forgive another, you are unveiling my kingdom in the midst of life. Do not let passing sorrows blur your vision. Remember that today's hardships are only the first chapter of the good that is coming. Hold fast to faith as a sailor clings to a compass on the open sea. I have cleared the way. You need only walk in trust. Each step, however small, is guarded by angels. Every breath you take while keeping hope in your heart brings joy to heaven. You are not lost, for my light still leads you through every shadow. My child, let my word become the heartbeat within your chest. When you speak my word, you do more than shape sound, you summon the power of heaven. Each syllable bears life, and every prayer shakes the unseen realm. Live with a grateful heart, for gratitude is the key that opens every door of grace. When you give thanks in trial, you draw forth miracles. When you praise amid pain, you turn wounds into glory. And this I want you to remember: I do not promise a life without tears, but I promise that not one tear will fall in vain. Each time you collapse, I will lift you. Each time you stray, I will call you. Each time you grow weary, I will be the place where you can lay your head. Let your heart be soft but not fragile, strong yet still gentle, for that is the very nature of true love. My child, I do not ask you for perfection. I ask you for honesty. Honesty with your feelings, your fears, your own faith. I want you to live true, love true, forgive true. For when you live with your whole heart, you live in me. And I in you am the source of peace that nothing can shake. The world may roar, people may change, but my love for you does not fade. It flows like an eternal river through all time, bearing hope, healing, and light. Stand firm, my child, amid every trial. For when you are steadfast, loving without calculation, forgiving without hesitation, trusting without wavering, the kingdom of heaven is revealed within you. Then you will know that all I ever promised, joy, peace, and glory, are not empty words, but truth written in light upon your heart. My beloved child, be at peace, and let not your heart be troubled, for at the root of every fear I remain the light that does not go out. When night seems to swallow every hope and the voices around you echo only doubt and loneliness, remember, I have never left you. I am there in the tears that have not yet fallen, in the trembling heartbeat searching for something to hold. You may see every door closed and every path blocked, but within that silence, I am opening a way you cannot yet see, a way that leads to the dwelling of light and peace. Child, when you tremble in fear, when the words of the world make your heart waver, remember that those who belong to me are not bound by any darkness or curse. No power, not even the might of the unknown, can stand before my breath. I am the beginning and the end of all that exists, the voice that makes the sea surge and then grow still, that sends the winds to howl and then to hush. If I can set the stars in the deepest night and keep them from falling, can I not keep you within my everlasting arms? Do not fear what your eyes see or your ears hear, for these are but passing mirages before my eternal glory. Child, fear does not come from me. It is the whisper of darkness, the cold breath seeking a crack within you to sow doubt. But faith, O faith, is a fortress no arrow can pierce. When you believe, when you speak words of trust, you stand in my light, wrapped in a peace the world cannot steal. Each time you lift your voice in prayer, I hear, and before your prayer is finished, I have already begun to act. I am never late, though it may seem long to you, for time has neither beginning nor end for me. Every moment rests in the palm of my hand. You feel alone, but I tell you truly, there is no night when I do not keep watch over your sleep, no day when I do not walk beside you through every trial. There are times I let you pass through storms, not to punish you, but so your heart may learn to recognize me, within the tempest like a flame in the cold night, like warmth in the hush of silence. When the world shakes with fear, when people speak of magic, of dark powers and curses, do not be moved. They fear because they do not know that light never loses. I do not need to argue with the dark. A single beam of light is enough to make it vanish. You belong to that light, and where I am with you, every curse is made meaningless. Every scheme of the wicked turns to ash. Child, I desire your heart to be firm, like a rock unmoved by the waves, for your faith is that rock, and whenever you rise in trust, heaven and earth bear witness that you are a child of the Almighty. Listen, my child, in the stillness of the night, my voice glides like a gentle wind across your heart, reminding you, I am here, nothing can separate you from my love. Whether you are in the depths or on the heights, whether lost in a crowded city or veiled by the darkness of despair, my hand can still reach you. Believe that every breath you draw, every heartbeat you hear, is proof that my mercy has never gone out. I have seen your tears, I have seen you collapse, and I have also seen you rise again, even on trembling feet. It was I who lifted you when you thought you would fall apart. It was I who whispered within you, go on, do not be afraid. Not a single tear you shed is ever wasted, for I keep them in my hand and turn them into pearls to light your way forward. Do not let the words of others make you doubt. My love for their mouths speak of fear while I speak of life. They talk of forces, but I bestow the power of peace. When you choose to believe, you choose to stand on the side of light on my side, and then nothing can cause you to fail. Child, some battles do not rage outside, but within the human heart, where faith and fear contend. If you enthrone faith, fear will kneel. When your heart stands firm in trust, the evil one cannot enter, for that place has become the holy ground of light. I do not say your path will always be smooth, but I promise you will never walk it alone. With every step you take, my footprints are beside yours. When you stumble, I bend down to lift you. When you are weary, I carry you. You do not need to understand everything. Only trust that all I do out of love for you. Some storms come to wash away the dust of the world. Some losses come so you may receive what is more precious. Child, set aside your fear. All who plot to harm you, all schemes hidden in the shadows will be consumed by my light. No slander, no cunning plan can breach the rampart I raise around you. They will search for you and see only a wall of living fire. They will call you weak, yet in that very moment, my strength will be made manifest in you. Let your heart bloom like a flower in the storm, for the storm cannot make the flower forget how to give its fragrance. When you face fear, do not flee. Stand firm and remember the light within you is eternal. Beloved child, your faith is not an idea, but an imperishable flame kindled by my own breath. It does not go out though the wind blows or the waters rise, for it comes from the inexhaustible source. When you keep that faith, heaven and earth incline in reverence for you, carry within you the warmth of God. I desire you to live in peace, not a peace the world bestows, but a peace I have placed in your heart. However dense the darkness, at a single call of your heart, I will be present, and my light will flood that place. You need not shout. A whisper is enough, for I am not far. I am the breath around you, the heartbeat within you, the life that does not depart. Take courage, child, for this world cannot extinguish a soul illumined by my light. Every storm will pass, every night will fade, and only my light and your faith will remain, becoming one, shining upon this world with unfailing love. Beneath the glittering shell of counterfeit knowledge and seductive power, there are souls still astray, thinking they can grasp the sacred by secret rites, and that a mere incantation or symbol could subdue what they do not understand. They try to command the world, not knowing they themselves are being commanded by the darkness they invoke. Their hands sweep the air in an illusion of might, yet they merely stir the fog of fear and suspicion. The words they utter take the form of spells, but are hollow, for without love, every magic is meaningless. My child, do not let your heart be stained by such cheap power. When you walk in the light of kindness, when you bow your head to forgive and speak truth from the heart, in that very moment, you hold a strength no multitude of charms can rival. For the nature of light is not something fashioned by human hands. It is life itself flowing through every soul that loves. The world speaks much of curses, of phantoms, of dark energy, of wandering spirits that make human hearts tremble. But remember, my child, darkness has no substance of its own. It grows only when people feed it with fear, hatred, and despair. When you quench those passions, the darkness dissolves like mist before the dawn. I tell you this as if carving it upon stone. No power born of malice can touch a soul wrapped in love. For love is my very essence, the sacred fire that never dies, burning in all who know how to live for others. When you pray in faith, when you speak gentle words in the storm of life, when you choose forgiveness over revenge, you raise around yourself a circle of light that cannot be breached. That light need not be seen with the eyes, yet every shadowed heart must bow and retreat before it. Beloved child, do not burden yourself with fears about plots woven in the dark. They may scheme and contrive, but I am the one who turns every device of malice into a blessing. They think they can make you fall, but I will make each fall the first step of a new rebirth. They imagine they hold power, but before my wind, their power is dust, fragile and futile. You were not made to live in fear. Fear is the road that leads the soul into emptiness. You were born to dwell in peace, to breathe in the light of faith, to know that though tempests may cover the sky, my hand still rests upon your shoulder and leads you through the long night. Faithful child, the world may not understand you. They may call you foolish for trusting in goodness amid a realm of calculation. Yet that very trust is the lamp by which you cross the abyss without fear. Do not strive to prove your strength, for true light needs no proclamation. Go on, live love, and leave the rest to me. I will turn every curse into a blessing, every night into a radiant dawn, every hatred hurled at you into a cleansing rain for the soul. When you place your trust in me, when you live with gentleness and integrity, you carry within you the flame of eternity, and no power in heaven or on earth can extinguish it. Look upon the world as upon a mirror. Those filled with love will see light. Those drowning in hatred will see only their distorted shadow in the night. Remember that all which begins in the heart returns to the heart. If you sow love, you will reap peace. If you sow forgiveness, you will harvest freedom. And when you learn not to answer with anger, but to respond with compassion, then you have conquered not another, but your own ego. I do not ask you to fight the world with sword and spear. I ask you to pass through it with compassion. Only compassion makes one truly strong. People may harm the body, but no one can wound your soul when you stand within. My love. Child, when storms roll in, do not run. Stand firm in the light. Let the wind blow past without sweeping you away, for your roots are sunk deep in the sacred soil of faith. Let every pain become a lesson, every betrayal a chance to recognize the worth of fidelity, every loss a seed of growth. Do not complain for those who live in the light. Do not seek reasons to resent. They know that everything that comes has the logic of love behind it. When you understand this, you will no longer see enemies, only souls lost on their way back to the light. You will no longer be angry for. You will know that every wound is an invitation to love more. You will no longer be afraid, for you will know that in each trial I am forging your soul to shine more brightly. The world will still be filled with the noise of ambition and temptations that sway the heart, but do not let them steal your inner silence. Only in silence can you hear my voice, tender, yet mighty, quiet, yet full of power. Let your prayer be not a string of repeated phrases, but the breath of a soul turned toward the light. Let everything you do, even the smallest act, be steeped in kindness. In this world, no act of love is ever wasted. A kind word, a compassionate look, a timely hand clasp, these are the true miracles. You need not seek after power, for you already possess it when you love without condition. When you carry faith within, you hold heaven and earth. When you live by compassion, you become my presence in this world. And when you forgive, you rise above every darkness. Remember, love is not weakness. It is the only strength before which the night must yield. Do not let anyone make you doubt this. Even if the world scoffs, mocks, and calls you a dreamer, smile, for they do not yet know that love is the only magic that needs no incantation, and yet saves the whole world. When you keep a gentle heart amid cruelty, you have become a light. When you are patient in suffering, you have already overcome the shadows. When you love without demanding anything in return, you have become as free as the wind. And when you understand that true power is not held by the strong, but by those who can bow, who can give, who can be silent in the storm, then you have grasped the secret of this universe. Trust wholly in me, for no soul that gives its trust to the light is left to wander in the night. Let your heart become a sanctuary of peace, a place where fear finds no dwelling. Let your inner being be a gentle river that flows through every sorrow without clinging to the mire. Live like a candle, small perhaps, yet bright enough to light the darkness around you. And remember, you are not alone, for I am in every breath, every tear, every quiet joy of yours. When you believe, you touch me. When you love, you become a part of me. And when you live by goodness, I live in you. Though darkness may spread before your eyes, do not let your mind be bound by thoughts of what the enemy schemes. The more you stare into the dark, the more it draws you in. But when your gaze turns to me, you are immersed in a light that never fades. Fill your heart with truth, with the deep knowing that I am here within each breath in the very tangle you cannot understand. You are not the victim of any power, for within you burns a flame no darkness can extinguish. You are a bearer of light sent to shine in desolate places, so that every step you take is not merely a step, but a declaration of faith that makes even the ground beneath your enemy tremble. Whenever you pray, even in the faintest whisper, heaven listens. That prayer light as a breath can still stir the heavens. Angels are sent not because you are strong, but because you dared to believe, because you dared to call my name amid the clamor. When you call on me in trust, when your heart opens in complete surrender in that very moment, my peace pours down like a clear spring, refreshing your soul. No storm can sweep that peace away, for it does not come from the world, but from me, the source of every comfort and of life itself. The enemy will try to murmur lies into your ear, words that make you doubt yourself and doubt me. It will whisper that you are not enough, that I have forgotten you, that your pain is meaningless. But do not listen, my child, for my truth resounds louder than every falsehood. When you choose to stand in truth, every lie dissolves like morning mist in the Sunday. I am the faithful one, the word that does not change, the one who has promised that, though mountains may move and hills may shake, my mercy shall never depart from you. Let that truth be carved deep in your heart, like bedrock before which every wave must break. Do not fret over how the enemy lays its snares, for when your whole heart is turned to me, I myself go before you to shatter every design against you. Each step taken in faith is an act of power. Each moment you choose trust over fear is a trumpet of victory sounding across the battlefield. There will be times you feel weak, as if you have no strength left to go on, but it is precisely in that weakness that my strength is made perfect. You have nothing to prove. Only let me be the one who works in you, through you, and for you. Remember, the light you carry is not of your own making. It is my light shining through you. Each time you love, forgive, and endure in the face of injustice, you allow that light to blaze forth. The enemy cannot stand against love, for love is my very nature. When you love, you place the mightiest weapon in your hands. When you choose silence to pray, instead of reacting in anger, you cause the powers of darkness to tremble. When you choose forgiveness, you break the chains of hatred with which the enemy longs to bind you. Child, do not merely hear the truth with your ears. Let it soak into your very flesh, become the breath of your soul. Live by the truth. Let it shape each thought and every deed. As you walk in truth, you will watch fear melt away and worry grow small. I know there are days you are weary when your prayer is little more than a sigh. Do not be afraid, for I do not seek perfect words. I seek an honest heart. If you will only lift your eyes to me just a glance, I am there, nearer than your breath. You do not fight alone. Across the heavens, multitudes of angels battle with you, and I, the Creator, govern all things. You may not see it, but every prayer you offer becomes an arrow of light that pierces the dark. Many battles are not waged with weapons, but with steadfast faith. When you refuse to fear, when you choose peace over panic, you have already won, for the enemy cannot touch a soul anchored in my peace. Do not let your eyes grow weary, chasing what you have lost. Look instead to what I am making new. What you thought was an ending is only the beginning of a greater glory. You are part of a vast design, a small stone strengthening the kingdom of light. Do not despise the worth of small deeds. A single word of encouragement, an honest embrace, a prayer in the night, all carry the power to alter destinies. I want you to know that when you keep faith, nothing is in vain. Every tear you shed I keep. Every suffering you endure has meaning in the maturing of your soul. No sorrow is wasted when it is offered to me. Through the crack of your brokenness, the light can enter. In the heart of trial, faith is fired into pure gold. Do not fear the rough road. for it is the path that brings you closer to me. If you find yourself lost, stop, take a deep breath, and call my name. In that instant, peace will flood your heart like cool water coursing through a parched desert. The enemy wants you to believe you are forsaken, but I say you are chosen. It wants you to see yourself as weak, but I call you strong in faith. It wants you to think you are merely a victim, but I name you one with a mission. Each time you remember this, the flame within you leaps up and lights the way ahead. Let your heart no longer be disturbed by the noise of the world. I know there will be gossip words that wound, whispers that plant doubt, but do not let them linger in your mind. Listen for my voice, gentle yet stronger than all the rest. It does not coerce or cry out. It only says softly, "You are mine." When you believe this, every fear dissolves like dew at dawn. Live as one who belongs to the light. Do not seek the world's approval, which shifts with every breeze. Find your joy in knowing you are on the right way, the way of love, of faith, of peace. When the world grows loud, choose the quiet with me. When others chase success, run to grace. When all around you falls apart, stand firm in the trust that I still hold everything. You were not made to live in fear, but to reflect the glory of the one who created you. Walk with courage, not because you are strong, but because you know I am with you. Each time you fall, do not condemn yourself. Rise, for I do not count your falls, but your risings. This is the true strength of faith, not never stumbling, but never giving up. Therefore, do not let your mind be taken over by worry, doubt, or hatred. Let it be filled with the light of truth, with the awareness that you are my beloved. When you live in that awareness, all darkness must retreat, for light never loses. You are my testimony of love in this world. Shine even in the smallest corner, for where your light is, the darkness cannot reign. And as you walk on, do not fear the long road. I walk with you. Each step you take declares that light is stronger than darkness, love stronger than hatred, and faith stronger than fear. Keep going, child, though the world may change, and storms may rise, for I am the unchanging one, and you are the bearer of my light into this world. O child of light, when you walk through heavy days and feel your strength spent, remember that in that very moment, I am present in each breath you take. Do not fear when the world seems to turn its back, when faith wavers and your hands tremble, for I am not far off, not a cold God looking down from on high, but the heartbeat within your chest, a hidden wellspring no force can quench. You may feel small before the vastness of the cosmos, but in my eyes you are an entire world. When your trembling lips confess, God is with me, the universe seems to pause, and all creation lifts a hymn of praise. Darkness cannot remain where the light of faith is kindled, just as no storm can uproot a tree whose roots are sunk deep in the soil of mercy. My child, there will be days when I seem silent, when it feels as though your prayers dissolve into the void. Yet I am there, listening to every choked sob, to every unspoken plea. I do not ask you to be strong at all times, for it is through your weakness that my grace finds a door. When you kneel in weariness and your tears blur your sight, I draw near, lay an unseen hand upon your shaking shoulders, and whisper, I am here. Not one of your tears is meaningless. They water the dry ground of your soul, and in time, from that very pain, resilient flowers will bloom. Do not seek me only in what is grand. Find me in the small, in the gentle gaze of a stranger, in the breeze that brushes your hair, in the stillness of dawn before the sun has risen. There you will know that I have not left you, not for a single heartbeat. When you feel you have no strength left to move forward, pause, but do not despair. Sit down within yourself and breathe, to sense that I am still flowing through your veins like a sweet spring that refreshes a weary soul. You do not have to fight alone, for I fight with you. Each time you grow weak, I become stronger within you. Each time you stumble, I set my hand beneath you to lift you up. Your journey is not only about reaching a destination, it is about learning to trust, learning to release the fears that have clung to you for too long. At times I allow the storm to rise not to destroy you, but to cleanse what has become worn and brittle, so that after the rain you may see a sky bluer and clearer and know that you have never been alone. There will be moments when you look back and see a path marked by sorrow, by loss, and by wounds of the heart. Yet know this, it is precisely through those wounds that the light enters. I have permitted trials to come to you, not to punish, but to make you stronger, gentler, and deeper in your understanding of the worth of love and of trust. When you endure pain, you are learning compassion. When you are betrayed, you are learning to love without condition. When you lose what you held dear, you learn that all that is visible is fleeting, and that only love and the soul endure. Do not resent the rough and winding road, for it is those very bends that have led you to your truest self. My child, remember that light never abandons the one who dares to seek it. When you think you are lost, you are in truth at a turning that I have arranged, so you might discover a deeper layer of faith. No silence is meaningless, no loneliness unseen. Even when you walk through the midnight hour, I am beside you. I simply choose to be silent, so that you may learn to listen to your own heart, for it is in stillness that your soul hears my whisper most clearly. Do not let the clamor of the world drown out that gentle sound. The more you learn to listen, the more you will sense that I am within you, unseparated, unremoved. When you say God is with me, do not speak only with words, but with your very being. In loving and forgiving and living kindly, you reveal me through you, for you are the mirror that reflects the light I give. Let that light spread, shining into the dark corners that others fear. You do not need to be perfect to be an instrument of light. You need only to be honest with your heart, to dare to love, to dare to trust, to dare to walk on, though the road is long and the rain relentless. Every small act done in love, every gentle word, every sincere smile, each is a ray, helping to scatter the night that covers the world. Child of mine, when the world wearies, you return to me, where peace is unconditional. Do not let your mind be dragged by anxiety or regret. The past is gone, the future has not yet come. Only this moment is real, and in this very moment, I am with you. Close your eyes and feel the beat of your heart. That is, my voice, the proof that your life is a miracle I continue to create from breath to breath. You need not prove your worth by success or failure, for to me, you are already precious simply because you are. I do not gaze upon your mistakes to condemn. I look upon your heart to love. And no matter how far you wander, the instant you call my name, I am there. One day, when you have passed through many seasons of storm, you will realize that everything that once caused you pain carried within it a seed of grace. You will understand that I never left you even in the moments you could not feel me. Every trial is a lesson, every scar, a mark of love. When you stand steady after a fall, when you can smile through tears, it is then that you have touched eternity. For your resilience, your faith, and your love all testify that light is stronger than darkness, that grace rises above every despair. And remember, you are not alone on this road. All creation walks with you. The wind sings by your ear. The waters soothe your feet. The sun warms your tired body. Angels keep watch over you day by day, while I quietly uphold your every step. When you whisper, God is with me, it is not merely a confession, but a truth spreading through the universe, making every creature tremble and driving the darkness back. For when you believe, you activate the unseen power of light, and nothing can hinder one who carries that light within. So, my beloved child, rise, wipe your tears, and go on. The world needs the light within you, needs the faith within you, needs the love that flows from your own heart where I dwell forever. Though life may often make you feel small amid the harsh whirl of the world, remember, you have never been alone. Every step you take on the heights of glory or in the valleys of tears, I am with you. I am the light that does not fade, the warmth that drives the chill from your soul. When the world feels too vast, When trials pile up as if to swallow faith and hope, lift your gaze, for in those very moments I am by your side, quiet, yet complete, gentle, yet steadfast, unassuming, yet full of power. Do not think yourself weak because you have trembled. It is precisely when you tremble and still dare to trust that the strength of the Spirit within you shines most brightly. True strength is not the absence of fear, but the courage to go on while the heart still quivers. You need not surround yourself with outward rites or cling to symbols in your hand, for power does not lie in what your hands can grasp, but in faith known only between you and me. That faith is a shield firmer than forged steel, a lamp for your feet in the midnight of trial. When your heart rests wholly in me, no force can bring you down. What you seek is not out there, not in the praise of the world, not in glittering emblems or elaborate ceremonies, but within your own soul, where I planted from the beginning a sacred seed, the seed of love and peace. Peace is not when the waves grow still, but when you keep your inner calm while storms rage around you. This world will always be unsettled. Some will love you, others will wound you. Yet do not let your heart be stained by bitterness or fear. Let my love within you be a clear spring that never ceases to flow. When you choose love over resentment, forgiveness over retribution, you become more like me, not in might, but in mercy. Love with a free heart without calculation, for that very love is the true strength that helps you stand firm amid all change. You may not see results at once, but every act of love, however small as a seed sown in good soil, and one day it will break forth as fruit of life and blessing. I know there are times you look for safety in tangible shapes, a symbol, a ritual, a sacred place. But remember, these are but forms to turn your heart toward me, not the place where I reside. I am not confined to statues nor bound within rites. I dwell in your soul, whose doors open only to love and faith. Know that true power does not come from without, but from a steadfast heart. When you know you belong to me, nothing can make you afraid. You will see that trials come not to ruin you, but to refine you, to make you shine brighter, stand stronger, and draw nearer to me. When the world makes you doubt your worth, remember you are fashioned by love and hold a purpose within my eternal design. Every wound and every fall carries a hidden lesson that you are not meant to live in fear, but to rise above it through faith. Others may fail to see the light in you, but I see it. You may deem yourself of little use, but I behold within you a strength you have not yet discovered. When your heart is faint, come near to me, that I may remind you that you are still enough, still beloved, still the one I have chosen. There will be hours when you are spent, when your prayers seem to rise only to dissolve into the air, when faith flickers like a lamp in the wind. But do not forget, my child, sometimes. My silence is not absence, but the quiet in which your faith can mature. A tree drives its roots deepest when the wind blows strong. Your soul also grows only by weathering adversity. I do not abandon you. I long for you to learn to stand, even when you no longer see my footprints beside you. For precisely when you feel most forsaken, I am secretly holding you with my unseen hands. You cannot see, but you will feel through that strange peace the world cannot give, through that small yet unquenchable flame that endures the long night. Let your heart become a dwelling for me, not by many ceremonies, but by sincerity, by a heart that knows how to love, to trust, to offer itself. When you open your heart, I will turn every fear into strength, every sorrow into teaching, every loss into a doorway where you find me amid what seemed shattered. Let my spirit move through your soul like the morning wind that lifts the mist and lets the light pour in. When you allow me to work within you, you will be amazed to find yourself doing what far exceeds your own limits. Nothing in this world can hinder my love for you. However far you stray, I will seek you out. However many your faults, I will open my arms to receive you. For my love rests not upon perfection, but upon mercy. I love you not for what you have done, but simply because you are my own. Let this love be the root of all your actions, words, and thoughts. When you live by love, you will no longer be swayed by slander nor driven by invisible fears. You will see that even in chaos there remain rays of hope, and you yourself are one of those rays. My child, do not seek peace where I am not. Every peace that does not spring from me is a mirage, sweet for a moment, then gone, leaving emptiness within. True peace comes when you lay every burden at my feet, when you trust that whatever the future holds, I remain Lord over all. When you quiet your heart, you will hear my voice, soft as a breeze, yet strong enough to soothe the deepest wounds. Therefore, do not be afraid to step through the dark days. Do not doubt when the road ahead bristles with thorns. Every trial is an invitation to draw nearer to me, to discover that true strength is not in avoiding suffering, but in finding meaning within it. The more you cleave to me, the freer you become from every bondage of the world. You will no longer live to please others, but to delight the one who loved you before you knew what love was. And when you live like this, your peace will no longer be shaken by any event, for it springs from me, the unfading wellspring of peace. Go on, my child. Walk steadily, for you do not walk alone. I am there still in every heartbeat, every breath, every tear, and every smile. Believe that no matter how long the night, the dawn will come. And when that light breaks forth, you will understand that everything you have passed through held meaning, for in the very moments that seemed most lost, I kept you and led you with a love beyond all compare. My beloved child, open your eyes and see like a traveler who after a long night discovers the dawn returns, though the rain has fallen without end. Look at the sun, no shadow can touch it. Its light still spreads, still blazes, still warms the whole earth. And lift your gaze to the night sky, where little stars, steadfast and quiet, shine through the depths of darkness. So it is with you, my child. You were born to shine, to radiate in this world, and no force can extinguish the flame I have kindled in your heart. Darkness may gather, storms may howl, yet that flame burns on, for it is lit by my breath, by the very soul of undying life. Though clouds may stretch so thick they seem to swallow the sky, the stars still shine. The human eye simply cannot see them for a while. So too, when fear clouds your sight, faith remains glowing, waiting for you to stir it by prayer, by surrender, by trust that I am at work even in silence. Do not let your eyes rest on fear, nor let your mind be bound by the smallness of this world. Lift your gaze to me, child, and you will see how great I am. When you look to me, fear shrinks as darkness recedes before the dawn. I am not only the one far off, but the one within you, the one who holds each beat of your heart, the one who fights for you in battles you cannot see. Dark powers, curses, crooked schemes may seem able to touch you, but they forget that you do not stand alone. You are robed in my glory, shielded by a mantle of light no force can pierce. For every venomous curse hurled at you, I speak a blessing tenfold. For every shadowy plot, I raise a wall of brilliance that burns the darkness away in the blazing radiance of truth. Child, do not be afraid. Fear is but a thin mist before the wind of faith. When you breathe a prayer, that mist dissolves and your inner sky grows clear. I know there are long nights when you lie awake, heart aching over the unknown, over wounds not yet healed. Yet even in that darkness, my hand rests upon your chest, imparting peace. You do not hear it, but your heartbeat keeps time with mine, a rhythm of life, of love, of undying trust. Each time you call, heaven's gates swing open. Each time you speak to me, the heavens tremble. Each time you invoke my name, with all your heart the darkness bows and retreats. The moment you cry to me, the battle tilts toward victory. The moment you entrust yourself to me, the storm begins to still, not because the wind has ceased, but because your heart has found safe refuge in me. Remember, no spell, no curse, no gloom can overrule my holy will. Such things have power only when you fear them. But when you stand in the light, they vanish like morning dew beneath the Sunday. You do not belong to the darkness. You are light. I have chosen you from among countless souls breathed my breath into you and placed in your hands the torch this world needs. Though people may doubt, mock, or turn their backs, you must still go, still shine, still stand firm. For the flame within you was not lit to illumine yourself alone, but to light the way for wandering souls through the night. Let them see that light and find their path back to me. Do not dread the dark, for where the night is deepest, there the light blazes brightest. Let your heart be like the sun, though clouds gather, the light still breaks through. Let your soul be like the stars, though veiled, still unceasing in its shining. Each day you live is a song of triumph. Each breath you draw declares that I remain here, reigning, loving. You do not need to understand all things. You need only trust that all things hold meaning within my design. When you face adversity, do not ask why, but what would you have me learn? For I use every event to train you, to widen your soul, to fashion you into a fitting instrument for my work. And when you feel weary, rest in my heart. I do not demand that you be strong at every moment. I know you are human, limited, frail, with hours when you want only to let go. Yet in that very softness you will most deeply feel my strength. Like a mother carrying her exhausted child, I will bear you over stony miles. You need not strain and struggle. You need only let me do the rest. Do not forget my grace is sufficient for you. My power is made perfect in weakness. Let me be the one who fights. You need only hold fast in faith. My child, live with gratitude, for thanksgiving is the door that opens to miracles. When you bless me in hardship, the walls of fear collapse and light floods in again. Do not let resentment or bitterness rule your heart, for they are enemies of peace. Speak blessing, even when others wound you, for in so doing, you become a mirror of my light in this shadowed world. Every loving word you utter, every act of kindness you sow, becomes a seed of heaven sprouting in the barren ground. And when you look back on your life, you will see that every fear, every tear, every storm was a means by which I brought you where you needed to be. As a sail only fills when the sea is stirred, so your faith only rises when trials come. Do not flee the tempest, for it is the very storm that teaches you where your anchor holds. When you stand within the gale, yet your heart remains at peace, that is the sign you have placed your trust in the one who does not change. Child, let the light within you not only illumine but also warm. Let your presence make others sense my breath. When you smile, let that smile remind them that hope endures. When you speak, let your words carry the fragrance of grace. When you live, let your life be the witness that my love is stronger than every fear, and my light more radiant than every midnight. I call you not merely to know me, but to become my echo in this world. Remember, each time you trust, the heavens move. Each time you love, the darkness recedes. Each time you forgive, heaven rejoices. You were born not to merely endure, but to triumph, not to hide, but to shine. For I have spoken, and my word does not return empty. You are light in this world, and the darkness cannot quench your flame. My beloved child, do not squander your time and thoughts imagining the evils that might befall you. Each time you let worry occupy your heart, you are yielding your energy to what is not real. Instead of fixing your eyes on harm, attend to the good I am quietly working in your life. I never cease to act, never cease to weave wonders from what seems darkest. Every challenge, every event, every person you meet on this journey carries within it a seed of blessing. And if you look with the eyes of faith, you will see my hand moving gently amid what only seems to be chaos. I know each burden you are carrying. I see you lying awake in the night asking whether someone schemes against you, whether the darkness is drawing near. You wonder if the venom of cruel words and shadowy designs can wound you. But hear what I declare: no power of darkness can cross the threshold where my name begins. From the moment you place your trust in me, every weapon forged against you becomes useless. They splinter in my light and dissolve before the breath of my mercy. No curse can pierce the shield of grace I spread over your life. Anger, envy, and the plots of others may boil for a time, yet before me they are but a passing mist. Do not let yourself be swept into that wind. Stand still in peace, for when you hold your peace, you stand at the very center of strength. Darkness holds sway over you only when you believe it can harm you. But if you trust in me, if you know my light clothes you like an unseen armor, then the darkness cannot touch even the edge of the radiance around you. That light is my love, an unquenchable flame, a power that cannot be defeated. I do not give you a spirit of fear. My spirit is power, love, and a sound mind, so that you may see with clear eyes and carry a tranquil heart. When fear knocks at the door of your soul, do not open. Let faith answer. Say to fear, I do not belong to you. I belong to the one who has overcome the world. When anxiety begins to whisper in your mind, do not listen to its murmur. Let prayer rise instead. For prayer is not only asking, it is the act of trusting that I still hold all things in my hand. And when despair seeks a way in, fill your heart with gratitude. Gratitude is the song of faith, the confession that though you do not yet see the outcome I am at work, gratitude breaks every chain of fear. It frees you from the ghosts of the past and from worries yet to come, so you may live fully in the present where I am. When you give thanks to me, you do more than speak polite words. You remind your own soul God still reigns. And once your soul remembers this, nothing can make you waver. Remember, my child, fear is the shadow of faith eclipsed. It is not real. It grows only when you stare at it too long. But when you turn your eyes to me, my light makes the darkness vanish. You cannot look at me and be afraid at the same time, for where there is light, darkness has no place. Each time you choose trust over fear, you move nearer to me, nearer to true peace. And in that peace, miracles happen not with thunder or whirlwind, but with the sweet stillness of a soul that knows I am in control of all things. I know it is hard at times to believe I am working when everything before you seems set against you, but faith is not seeing and then believing. It is believing in order to see. When you walk through the dark trusting in me, you are doing the most wondrous thing. You are letting me lead by the light of my own presence within you. When you believe I reign, you will not fear, though the storm should rise, for you know your boat is never abandoned on the sea of life. Let this trust become your very breath, so that each day you wake no longer asking, what harm may befall me today, but rather, what goodness will I behold from the hand of the Lord? To change your gaze is to open the door to blessing. Darkness cannot stand before a soul that gives thanks. Each word of gratitude you speak is an arrow of light that pierces the night and makes the power of fear melt like the morning dew. Therefore, my child, do not let your heart be troubled by outward things. Do not let bitter words, suspicious looks, or scornful tones make you sway. They are only trials through which your trust is trained. Stand firm in the light. Let me fight for you. Believe that I have never lost, and when you stand on my side, you already share the victory. No darkness, no force can touch the soul that has placed its whole trust in my unchanging love. And when you know I reign, when you truly grasp that everything rests in my hands, you will find your heart steadfast as a rock. Though storms howl and the world reel, you will stand unmoved, for your roots are sunk deep in faith. This is the peace that surpasses understanding, the peace I have promised to give you. And when you hold fast to that peace, nothing can shake you, for you know that I, the Almighty, still hold the course of your life and love you with a love that never fades. Beloved child, lift your head and walk on, for you were not born to hide your light or to shrink before fear. The light within you is the flame I kindled. It never weakens unless you yourself cover it. Do not fear the darkness, for when you shine, the darkness trembles and dissolves. Darkness is powerless against one who bears true faith. For faith is an unfailing lamp, the blade of truth, the wind that carries you across every shadowed land. Let your light blaze, live fully in my radiance, for this is the mission stamped upon you from your creation. When you walk in the light, you not only illumine your own path, you become a torch for wandering souls who have forgotten that they too were born of light. My child, pay no mind to the clamor of the world. Do not answer the taunts of those who make the night their ally. They may wear the proud mask of power, yet it is only a mirage. Many boast of secret arts and claim knowledge of the darkness, as if they could bend heaven and earth. But true power needs no shouting, no display. Real strength lives in stillness, in the heart that chooses love, though wounded forgiveness, though offended and calm in the roar of the storm. Such strength makes no noise, yet it makes demons tremble, and the night retreat, for it is my power, the power of love. Understand, this darkness does not fear swords or battle cries. It fears love, compassion, and forgiveness. When you love, you share in my very nature. When you forgive, you resemble me. When you keep your peace amid adversity, you reflect my image. No darkness can endure that light. Every good born of love carries both creative and destroying power. It creates joy and destroys fear, creates hope and destroys hatred, creates life and destroys the death that haunts the heart. Some suppose that strength is the power to make others submit, victories seized by striving and force. Not so, my child. Such strength is as fragile as sand in the wind. True strength is not in what makes others afraid, but in what makes others feel loved. True strength is not in shouting, but in the quiet of a heart that trusts. When you love though you are despised, you have conquered yourself, and that is the greatest victory. When you forgive though you are wronged, you shatter the chains of bitterness, and you are free. When you keep peace in the tempest, you prove that your faith is greater than your fear. Do not measure yourself by how often you fall, but by how you rise. Each time you choose love over hatred, you lay another stone in a wall of light. Each time you forgive, you make me proud, for you have grasped the true nature of strength, not to destroy but to heal. There are fragile souls who flee their pain by wounding others. The truly strong are those who cradle their wounds with kindness and face their sorrow without letting it turn them cold. This world praises those who conquer with spear and sword, but I praise those who conquer with mercy. One honest embrace can mend what 100 victories cannot. One word of forgiveness can quench a fire of hatred that has burned for years. A single heart of compassion can turn enemies into friends, tears into smiles. Therefore choose the way of love, though it is hard and asks for sacrifice. It is the road of noble souls, the road I walk before you. Do not let your heart grow callous, nor your trust wither under deceit. Guard the flame of love, as a watchman guards a lamp in a storm. Let kindness be your armor, faith your shield, humility your sword. And remember, every act of love is a victory in the unseen realm. When you choose gentleness over anger and forgiveness over revenge, all heaven rejoices. Many mistake gentleness for weakness, not knowing that to be meek in a harsh world is a form of great heroism. To refuse revenge when you have the power to take it, to shun contempt when you could wield it, that is true strength. My child, when you choose peace in chaos, you become my instrument. I do not need you to shout battle cries, for a single loving heart like yours is enough to make the darkness crumble. I live in you, and therefore you carry the lifeblood of light within you. You do not have to search far for power. It is breathing in every beat of your heart. When you act with goodness, you summon the strength of heaven. When you speak with kindness, my angels smile. When you forgive, the doors of grace swing wide. When you love, I am glorified in you. The light in you never grows dim, only you forget it is there. Remember, I placed within you a torch that cannot be extinguished. Though you pass through shadowed places and meet those who would smother it, that light remains, waiting for you to kindle it again with a word of trust, a breath of prayer, an act of love. No one can take that light from you unless you hand it over through fear. So do not bow to the dark. Let the lamp within you illumine the road. And as you shine, you will discover you are not alone. Your light will meet the light of others, and the whole overcast sky will blaze anew. Darkness does not need to be defeated, only illumined, and it disappears. So too hatred needs no argument, only love, and it retreats. For love is a flame, no power can quench a truth, no lie can twist a music, no voice can silence. My child, live upright, yet gentle, strong yet merciful, steadfast, yet willing to bow in humility. Do not fear loneliness, for solitude is only the quiet in which you hear my voice more clearly. Do not fear being wounded, for from that wound light will stream forth. Do not fear loss, for at times it is only in losing that you truly gain. You do not need to prove your strength, for your true strength is my presence alive within your heart. When you stand before adversity, remember this: you are not fighting alone. I am there, I fight with you, in you, and through you. When you are weak, I am your strength. When you are weary, I am your rest. When you collapse, I am the hand that lifts you. When you weep, I am your consolation. And when you love, it is I who am loving through you. My child, never forget you are a child of light, and within you dwells the power of heaven. Walk with courage, for you do not walk alone. Shine without fear, for darkness is only the absence of light, and you are that light. Love, forgive, and live fully with a pure heart, for in each of these I am living, breathing, and acting through you. And when you live so, no darkness, however deep, can endure before your light, the light of mine within you. My beloved child, do not let your heart grow heavy over what your eyes cannot yet see, for there are truths beyond your sight that never escape mine. You see only the surface of the river, but I see the depths where hidden currents quietly carry all things toward the good. When you walk in the fog thinking you know no way, I have gone ahead, clearing the path and leveling every obstacle. I see every stone along your road, every snare, the wicked set in secret darkness. I behold every scheme spread across places that seem so calm, and before your foot can stumble, I have already intervened. You do not know how many times before fear could touch you, I went to battle for you, silent battles, of which you were unaware. My child, I see the words raised against you, the bitter voices that would wound you, but take heart, I do not permit their speech to wield power. I turn every cruel word into a seed of blessing, so that flowers of life may bloom from it. They may plot your harm, yet that very plot becomes the instrument by which I teach you the strength of patience, that you may know no evil can triumph over my light. Secret traps and designs hidden in the night, I see them all, and before they can spring shut, my hand has already come down, turning them to dust. Nothing happens beyond my gaze. Not a step of yours do I fail to attend. Not a single breath do I fail to know. My child, be at peace, for you are walking beneath my loving gaze, my shelter, and my guiding hand. Every step you take, every turn you make, I know, and I remain there, not as a watchman, but as a father, overflowing with love, longing to see you walk secure on the path of light. When you tremble, I slow my pace, so as not to frighten you. When you advance with boldness, I smile within, knowing faith is growing in you. I never take my eyes off you, even should you wander, for my love for you does not depend on your direction. It flows from my very nature, love that is eternal. My beloved child, from the moment you opened your heart in trust, I clothed you with a garment of light, a garment no power can tear. The instant you believed that light wrapped around you like a father's arms around a trembling child, within that garment no arrow can pierce, no darkness can intrude. You may not sense the moment I arrayed you in it, yet every breath you take, every tear that falls has been steeped in that light, the light of mercy and protection. Even so, my child, the one thing that dims that light is fear. Fear does not drive me away from you, but it closes your heart and makes you forget the light is still there. Yet even in the moment you shiver, when faith seems as fragile as a candle in the wind, I remain patient. I never snuff out that flame. Instead, I bend low and shield it with my very breath, kindling the fire of faith anew. Again and again I breathe into you the warmth of hope, for my love has never failed. You may stumble, you may doubt, you may weep in weakness, but remember, I am always near. When you collapse, I do not stand afar and watch. I stoop down, place my hand upon your shoulder, and speak with a gentle voice. Rise, for I am still here. I am not ashamed of your weakness, for I know there is a seed of light within you that I, myself, have sown. Each time you fall, that seed is watered by your tears, until one day it blossoms stronger than before. My child, I have not left you, not for a single instant. When you think I am silent, it is then I am at work in silence, removing what you cannot see, arranging what you do not yet understand. When you feel alone, I stand just behind you, waiting for you to turn, so I may gather you into my embrace. When you cry out, I have heard before the words have left your lips. I do not grow weary of you, for my love knows no bounds. Look no longer at what you fear. Lift up your gaze, for the light within you still burns bright. You are surrounded by my peace, held by a hand that never lets go. Let your faith become the key that opens every door, so your steps are no longer taken in fear, but as the journey of one who knows they are loved. When you trust in me, you need not wrestle in the dark, for my light goes before you, guiding your way to the harbor of peace. My beloved child, remember that nothing can separate us. Though you pass through a long winter, though you walk the valley of sorrow, I go with you, gentle yet unshakable. My love does not come to demand, but to embrace, to heal, to turn your wounds into the marks of victory. Believe that none of your pain is meaningless, for in every tear, my hand is shaping a greater good. And when you lift your head, you will see that all has changed. The light was never gone. You have only just opened your eyes to behold it. I am still here, my child, in every breath, in every moment you live. Do not fear what lies ahead. Do not grieve what has passed, for your past. I have erased your future. I have prepared, and the present, this is where I hold your hand. Walk in peace, for you are wrapped in a love that does not fade, guarded by a light that does not dim, and led by a hand that never loses the way. There will be moments in life when others cannot fathom why, in the midst of the storm, you remain serene. Why, when every gaze around you is frantic, you wear a gentle smile, as though the world could not shake you. They do not know that in that very moment, I am carrying you, guiding you through the tempest, so that not a single raindrop can wet your soul. Your peace is not indifference nor numbness. It is the sign of my presence in your heart. I choose to show my power not through thunder's roar or lightning's flash, but through the tender stillness within those who trust in me. In that silence, my power becomes boundless. The world often seeks signs in the loud and the dazzling. They want radiant wonders and extraordinary phenomena to believe there is a mighty one. But I choose to hide myself in the simple. I am present in the peaceful breath of the faithful, in the gentle gaze amid danger, in the forgiving smile amid hatred. True power needs no noise and no proof. It is the unseen wind felt only by the pure of heart. When you keep your peace in the storm, you become a witness to my power, the power of love, of stillness, of a faith that cannot be shaken. My child, when people speak of evil forces, When they tell stories of black magic, of curses, of the shadowy energies they fear, do not let your mind tremble. Remember, the one who fears the dark has forgotten the light they carry in their heart. Smile a smile light as a passing breeze and say within yourself, "My God is greater than all." Speak these words not to frighten the darkness, but to remind yourself that my light dwells in you. Each time you speak, your faith is carved more deeply. Every word of faith is a brick raising a rampart no power can overthrow. Speak until your heart believes fully, until every fear melts away in the current of faith. For faith is not only speech, it is fire burning in the heart, the heartbeat of a soul that knows it is never alone. When you place your whole trust in me, nothing can shake you, for you have become a bearer of light in a world steeped in night. Do not let the words of others sow doubt in you. Do not let rumors make you waver. So long as you keep that light, the darkness must retreat. Each time you remember me, you are strengthened. To remember me is not merely to invoke my name in prayer, but to live as though I am present in every breath. When you choose gentleness over anger, forgiveness over resentment, love over closing your heart, then you are remembering me. And each time your soul grows more steadfast, like a mountain unshaken by the storm. Every act of kindness, however small, is another flame added to the radiance around you. That light is not of your making, but the stream of love I kindle in you whenever you live true to your sacred nature. Let that light blaze, my child, for when you illumine another, you warm yourself as well. A tender word can dissolve a surge of anger. A sincere hand clasp can let a lonely heart feel hope. Do not despise small things, for in my kingdom everything born of love bears the strength of eternity. You need not seek charms to protect yourself, for love is the strongest charm of all. You need not beg for miracles, for the miracle is already in your heart. Each time you choose goodness over selfishness, each time you forgive through pain, each time you rise after a fall with faith unspent, this is the miracle. And when you live by that faith, no darkness can touch your soul. My child, be at peace. Peace is not an escape from reality, but the inward strength that holds you steady amid all upheaval. When the world trembles, be the one who brings faith. When others lose hope, let your smile bear witness that I am here. Live so that even without words, people can sense me in the stillness of your gaze. Such is the power of peace, the power carried only by hearts that trust in me absolutely. Therefore, do not seek me in thunderclaps, in flashing lights, in great spectacles that overwhelm. Seek me in the quiet of morning, in a loving glance, in the rhythm of your own heartbeat. I am there in every moment you choose peace over fear. And when you learn to trust without seeing, to love without needing return, then you have become my dwelling. The peace within you is my greatest wonder. Now, child of the light, open wide your heart and lift to me your most sincere prayers. Like incense rising through the high heavens, like the breath of your soul joining the eternal cadence of the love of God. Pray with your whole heart, not to ask only for yourself, but to connect with the sacred fountain from which every pain is changed into peace, every weakness into strength, and every silence becomes my gentle reply. Almighty God, I kneel before you in humility and deep reverence. Amid life's tempests, when I grow weary and the light seems to fade, come as a living flame to rekindle faith within me. Pour upon me the spirit of strength and peace, that I may stand firm when the world reels love, when hearts grow cold. Forgive when I am wounded, and give thanks even with my final breath. Lord, let me understand that you are never far from me, that in my darkest moments you take my hand and lead me through the night to the dawn of hope. Merciful Father, I come to you not with flowery words, but with a heart still bleeding and trembling hands. Receive me as the child you formed on the first day of creation, a speck of dust that bears your breath. Wash my soul clean of doubt, of fear of pride, so I may be pure as the morning dew, reflecting the light of eternal love. When I lose my way at life's crossroads, be my road. When I thirst in the desert of loneliness, be my water. When I despair, be my unfading trust. Creator of the universe, who breathed life into dust to fashion me, grant that I may always remember my life is a miracle. Help me not to squander a single moment you give, but to live with gratitude, dedication, and love. Though I am small in a boundless world, let me become a beam that reflects your splendor, not to glorify myself, but so the world may know that your love still abides, still embraces every soul that longs for you. Almighty God, I thank you for loving me, though I have never been worthy. I thank you for each morning I behold the dawn, for every breath that is a sign of your creative love within me. I thank you even for trials, for in suffering I have learned how to trust, to love, to hope. Thank you for never leaving me in my wandering, for being silent long enough that I learned to listen, and for speaking in time to save my soul from the abyss of despair. Kind and merciful Father, I bow in gratitude for all things, for life, for faith, for light, and for the mysteries yet unanswered. Thank you for placing within my heart a fire that never dies, the flame of faith and love. Grant that I may live always in a spirit of thanksgiving, knowing that each present moment is the most wondrous gift you are giving. I offer this prayer in the holy name of Jesus Christ. Amen. Do not forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so that together we may build a strong and flourishing community of faith.